You know Mike, but I'll tell you a little bit more about him. He's the CEO and founder of ComTech. They've been providing IT services to businesses in North Carolina for over 30 years, and that's the other cool part. I'm in the other borough, not the not cooler one, Goldsboro, right? No one's heard of that, but that's where I come from, so I drove over. Nobody knows where that is. I moved down here 20 years ago. People go, "Where are you from?" I said, "Goldsboro." They say, "Where's that?" And I try to tell them. They go, "Oh, I know. I've been there on the way to the beach." That's the only way they know. I drove past it as fast as I could. And I didn't stop. So they've worked for 30 years with hundreds of clients, including local government, financial services, all of you people, nonprofits, engineering, professional services, and healthcare. Mike is also a contributing member of a CEO mastermind group of technology leaders from around the country and speaks at numerous virtual and live events throughout the year. Something you may not know about ComTech, I was doing some research and found this out. They were listed in the Inc. 5000 list of the fastest growing companies in the nation. So making it happen in the Greensboro area. Yeah, give it up. And you're a part of that. Without customers like you and prospects like you and people like you, that wouldn't be happening. Also, they were nationally recognized as an MSP Titan. We're doing our first MSP awards ceremony in Beverly Hills. And I get to MC that event. That's where I met them, and they're doing a brand new one. I get to introduce Magic Johnson and Jay Leno. And Hunter told me next year we're looking to have them come to this. We're not sure, but we're looking at it. We're looking at it, and then we're realizing it's never going to happen, but we're looking at it. So they were recognized as an MSP Titan for their work supporting the medical industry in 2024. This is a huge accomplishment and testament to the work they are doing here in North Carolina. So please get on your feet and welcome to the stage, Mike Farlow.
Thank you, Dave. That was fantastic. I love that guy. He is so entertaining and makes me look so bad because he's so good. But thank y'all so much for being here today. I know some of you had a long drive in, and I appreciate the effort that you made to get here. And we have a fantastic, exciting day coming up. They wanted me to dance coming up to that. I was like, no, not going to happen. This guy does not dance. So, for those of you that are brand new, you may be wondering, what is up with this theme and everything we got going on? Well, we're obviously an IT company, but we love to have fun. I believe enjoying your work and having fun with not only your staff, but your clients is important. So we only got one life to live. And so we pick themes each year for these events. Last year was Fast and Furious, the furious pace of business. This year was Guardians of the Galaxy. And you may not have thought of yourself as guardians when you walked into this event, but when you end the day, we hope that you will. You are guardians, literally, of your business, watching the security, the profitability, all the different aspects of it that keeps it successful. And we want this day to be very inspiring for you. And I really mean that in a creative sense. You're going to see a lot of tools, a lot of things that hopefully will open your mind up. I've seen polls that say only 25% of business people have even touched AI, and a much smaller percentage, they don't know anything about it at all. So you're going to get some really good introductions to that. If you are new, you will notice something that's kind of unique about our event as well, besides we like to have fun. You don't see any vendors. You don't see any booths. There's nothing for sale today. So everybody can just relax. This is not timeshare. We did not lure you in. So there's nothing at all. Just enjoy the day. Make some notes in your workbooks, and hopefully you'll get a lot of great ideas today. You may or may not be aware, but this summer we've had a promotion going on or a partnership with Little Pink Houses of Hope, where we support lots of different nonprofits in the area, but this is the one special one we picked for this year. And our goal is to raise $50,000 for them. They're a nonprofit based over in Burlington, and they send breast cancer patients and their families on vacation retreats just to give them a little break from a treatment and let them make some great memories with their families. So by every one of you being here, you may not realize it, but we're donating extra based on every seat that's filled. So we're going to total that up at the end of the day. I know we were close with our summertime endeavors, but hopefully today we crossed the line and met our goal, but we'll find out later today. As we get into things, this, how you like that? Pretty good. Not a bad replica. The AI is amazing. And most of the images that you saw here were created in AI, and you're going to see some pretty wild ones and very unique art. And we're going to talk about that. But the reason I threw this image up on the screen is because when I was putting this talk together, I was trying to think of what has happened since the last time we met 1 year ago when we had this event. And really, the environment has gotten kind of chaotic. Business environment, business has always been tough, but it seems like it's been extra tough the last year. Interest rates have been going completely nuts. Politics went even crazier. Hiring has been difficult as well. And we've had some of the worst cyber attacks in history have happened just in the last year, some of them in the last 6 months. A mentor of mine, Greg Crabtree, has written a couple of really good books. If you haven't read them, I definitely recommend them, called Simple Numbers. But we meet every month, and he's a financial analyst for one of the largest CPA firms in the country. And he's got a quote that I think sums it up pretty well. He said, "We were in a participation economy, but now it's turned into a street fight." And what he meant by that, and I know I've seen it, is that post-COVID, things were pretty good. I mean, we had our difficulties, no doubt, but with PPP stimulus money and interest rates being low and all that, business was reasonably easy. If you were in the economy and you were participating, you did reasonably well. I said everybody has a different experience, but now with the environment we have, you've got to be leaner, meaner, faster, smarter. You've got to take your piece of the pie, and there's reasons for that. The demographics have all changed, and it's been a gradual thing, but it's something that everybody needs to be aware of. Birth rates have been dropping for decades. The boomers have retired. There's literally a different market, and it's smaller. There's less business to be had. So you do have to fight for what's there. And the ones with the best tools and the best strategies are going to be the winners. And that's actually what I was getting to with this picture, is I think this is opportunity. The folks that are in this room are here to learn and to get that edge. Your competitors aren't here. And that makes a difference. It really does. You'll see as we go through some of the examples and as we talk throughout the day. But our job here today is to try to, like I said, open up your mind and give you some tools that you can really use in your business to give you that advantage. One of the things I'm really excited about is the new technology that's coming out. I wish I could say we're going to be selling robots, but I don't see that happening. But I still love it. I'm a tech guy, and robots are just the ultimate cool. And they're getting just absolutely amazing. The future is literally here. These robots exist. Their dexterity is amazing, as you can see. They just act so human-like. And these are actually being used today in some beta tests. For example, this particular one is being used down at the Spartanburg plant, down at BMW for assembly. And it has passed all the tests. They should be implementing them sometime real soon. We should see probably these things are going to be in manufacturing, warehousing, that sort of thing to begin with. But they talk that it won't be long before we'll have them at home to be helpers. Wouldn't that be great? They can take the dog out, mow the yard, whatever. So that's a wonderful thing. And they're supposed to go on sale the end of next year. So I mean, we're getting close Tesla and others are coming out with these. What's interesting about these is that most robots have to be programmed. Well, these use AI, so they literally learn from watching someone else. They could watch someone set that piece of sheet metal down and know how to do it without programming. If the sheet metal is in the wrong place, it can figure out that it needs to be adjusted. That is amazing. And we're just getting started with all of this. So what made me think of this when I saw that video is like, well, let's compare that to what we have right now. A current automotive manufacturer might have a supervisor and several employees. And of course, employees, God love them, we gotta have them, but they got baggage. We all know. They occasionally get sick, sometimes they take breaks, they like holidays and vacation, don't we all? And they all have their own flavor of drama that they like to bring to work. They like benefits, insurance, occasionally they even want a raise or a bonus. So, and you have work quality issues sometimes. Is that work on a Tuesday going to be as good a quality as on Monday morning when maybe the weekend was a little rough? You never know. So imagine something completely different. If you had someone come into your office, say you were hiring, and they said, I never get sick. I don't take breaks. I don't care about holidays. Don't do drugs. I don't even need any benefits, no insurance, don't even worry about paying me for that matter. And I'll always be on time, don't need any raises or bonuses, and I'll be consistent with my work 7 days a week, not 5, and not in a time period. What would that be worth? What would that be worth to you? We all know labor is one of the highest expenses in most businesses. Tesla and the others, they have a price point of under $20,000 for these robots. That is absolutely amazing. And it should revolutionize manufacturing, warehousing, etc., and bring costs way down and raise efficiency way up. So that's our hope, at least. Now, some people will look at that, rightfully so, and say, well, robots are going to steal jobs away. Yeah, undoubtedly, it probably will. But I think back to days like, for example, we used to have hundreds of people out in the field harvesting wheat, and then the combine came along. Nobody complained too much that they weren't out there busting their back trying to harvest wheat anymore. Humans are made for better things, in my opinion, than routine assembly type jobs, and that's what these will be fantastic at. But not all of us can use robots. Our company is a good example. We're an IT company, cybersecurity company. I don't see robots anywhere in that picture whatsoever. I would sure love it, but I don't see it happening, and your businesses may be very similar. So you may wonder, well, how do we compete in that strange new world where there's all this tech? Well, there's other ways, because there's lots of different weapons in the shed that you can use to stay competitive and to do your very best. There's a fellow named Scott Galloway that is a marketing professor and founder of 9 different businesses, wrote several books, and he said, AI won't take your job, but someone using AI will. I like to twist that quote a little bit from a guy that I also admire, I think he's very smart, that said, AI won't put you out of business, but a business using AI will. And what I mean by that, well, let's just use an illustration. This is the easiest way to explain it. A few months ago, we were hiring a new person, and I needed an employment contract written up. Well, you could do it the old-fashioned way, send an email over to an attorney. This is what I need. They give it back to you, possibly a few days later, and that was it. And I thought, well, let's see what new technology can do, just out of curiosity. So I fed the information into a prompt. You'll learn about that later if you don't know about prompting. But I said to the AI, I need an employment contract for a 1-year term, valid in North Carolina, jobs for an appointment setter, making calls 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Very simple. It's exactly what I needed. And in about 15 seconds, it came back with a multi-page legal document, perfectly formatted, and it actually included a lot of things I wouldn't have ever even thought of. So I was like, this is awesome. But this is brand new technology. It's a legal document. Let's run this by the attorney just to make sure. So I sent it over to an attorney for review. They took a look at it, and they said, this is perfect. There's nothing I recommend. I wouldn't change anything. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I asked the attorney, I said, did you know that this was written with AI? And they said, no, I thought you just downloaded a template off the internet and then made some edits. I was like, no, this was definitely 100% AI generated. And what was interesting at that point was the attorney said, well, I don't know anything about that, and I've never used it. I don't believe in that kind of technology. I'm like, you're looking at an example of a pristine contract that you approved, but you don't believe in the technology. It's like, that's like a carpenter that's using a hand saw, looking at someone using a power saw and saying, I don't want none of that. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. I think that illustrates that point really well, is that if you keep doing things absolutely the old way, and you don't embrace or at least entertain the idea of some of this new tech, you're going to be like the attorney in the office there with the typewriter versus the one that's spitting documents out every 15 seconds because they've got an incredible AI helper. And which one's going to win? Which one's more efficient? Which one can produce more? It's pretty obvious. As we move on, AI also can be used in a lot of other different ways. Some of it's really fun, too. One of them is video creation. This is obviously very creative, and this one is, too. The interesting thing about everything that you're seeing here, this is 100% AI. Those puppies are perfect. I mean, I can't find a flaw in them anywhere. They're beautiful, they're cute, and they're 100% fake. That is amazing. And it's created with a prompt. Those birds are fake, that river is fake, all of that is created with a prompt, just like that employment contract. It's created that way and so accurate. I mean, look at those waves rolling in. It's amazing. Imagine, maybe you don't create a lot of video right now for your business, but again, just brainstorm a little bit. Think if you were a travel agent and you needed to spruce up your website, maybe not with galloping mammoths, but if you were going to spruce up your website and you wanted something unique, you could type in a prompt that gave you something like this. And it's totally unique, doesn't exist anywhere. Those are not real people walking around, but it makes for a really good website video. You could put something like that together. This man, I mean, look at the detail, even the hairs on his beard and everything. I mean, it's incredible. It's all just a prompt and learning to use the tools that are there. One thing with any tool, AI in particular, is it does need inspection though. Anything you do create, just like that document I was talking about, I had an attorney look at it, make sure you get around these things and inspect them. I can barely see because these lights are incredibly bright, but did anybody notice the flaw in the videos that we just showed? Did anybody catch that? Yes?
I think I saw when the cat touched the lady who was sleeping, her skin, like that area.
Well,
Was it correct?
you may have caught one I didn't see. That's very possible, but you're on the right video. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and point it out. It had 3 paws. When it raised up the paw to touch her nose, you're right, that other paw stayed down and the other paw just magically appeared. So you do have to sometimes watch it. Sometimes you end up with a perfect video like the puppies. Sometimes cats have 3 paws. So you have to keep an eye on it. We create a lot of videos at ComTech. If you are watching our emails or subscribe to our YouTube video, you certainly know this. And they're all educational, and we even built a video studio at the office because we produce so much and we need to get it out there as quick as possible. But it's time consuming. If any of y'all have ever done video, you know what I'm talking about. A minute of video can take hours of work to produce. I can see the day when Ethan, he does most of our instructional videos, I can see the day when we can take a sample of video, sample of his audio, and just type in a prompt and AI just duplicate it 100%. And we don't have any studio time, and we get exactly what we need, and it'll look like him, it'll sound like him, and be just so much easier and improve production. But those tools that I showed you, robots, AI, etc., a lot of times those are brand new and they take some additional investment on your part. We are going to talk about leveraging the technology that you already have. We've got a segment today that will talk specifically about Office 365 and some of the hidden tools and services that are built in to even the basic licenses that you probably don't even know exist. You may not have even heard about them, but they are there, and it's pretty interesting. You may be wondering, what in the world does he have a lawnmower up on the screen for? A couple of weeks ago, I was changing the lawnmower blades on my mower, and I thought this was somewhat appropriate. I was getting ready to change the blades, and I realized the ratchet that I had was too small, couldn't get leverage. That wrench was just too small for the job. I needed a much longer lever to get the leverage there, so I ordered what's called a breaker bar off Amazon. Came in next day, replaced the blades. It's not the point of the story. What is the point is when I went to put the breaker bar up, opened the toolbox, put my breaker bar in there, and guess what was laying right there in the toolbox? Another breaker bar. So I got a hit on the slide. Sorry about that. But us guys, we know all about this. That's why we have 14 of the same tool everywhere, is we lose them or we don't know we even have it until we go buy more. Well, that's what that segment today is going to be, is showing you those tools that you already have so you don't go out and spend money on something you don't need because you already have it. This slide is about the cybersecurity section that we're going to talk about. And there are some bad aliens out there, keeping with our theme. Most of them are not space aliens. Most of them are from Russia, China, North Korea, Estonia, other places like that. But they are out there and they are attacking constantly. And you may have even run into some of this locally. If anyone tried to buy a car over July 4th holiday, you may have run into this. There were over 15,000 dealerships that were impacted over that holiday. Supposedly, that ended up to nearly $1 billion in lost sales because they were reduced to pen and paper or couldn't operate at all. And that was just one of many different attacks that we've had this year. And sometimes you wonder, I mean, you see it in the news all the time. Sometimes you wonder, what in the world, why does this keep happening? Why is it just getting worse and worse and worse? Well, it's actually got a really simple answer. Follow the money. If you look at the GDP for the top 3 countries in the world, which is total production, sales, the U.S. is around 25 trillion, China's 18 trillion, Japan's 4 trillion. If cybercrime were a country, it would come in number 3 in the world. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of production, a lot of damage that is being caused. And it's supposed to get even worse, $10.5 trillion in 2025. So as long as there's money and there's criminals in the world, they're going after it, and they're going after it hard and heavy. And this is ransomware, damages, extortion, blackmail, fraud, and every one of them are out there trying to trick your employees and trying to do damage. And again, it's not a day of doom and gloom, it's a day of inspiration. We're here to give you the tools, tricks, strategies to fight back, so you can be a guardian of your office. Hopefully when you leave today, your eyes will be open just a little bit wider and you'll be able to see those threats and know how to defend against them. Let them go. Let the criminals go attack your competitors. Let them be the low-hanging fruit. As we wrap up the day, we're going to talk about future-proofing your business for 2025. And that's going to be, we're going to talk about budgeting and planning. I know that's not very sexy, but hey, that's part of business. That's just the way it goes. You don't want to get hit with unforeseen expenses. And there are changes that are coming in 2025. For example, a big one is Windows 10 is being discontinued. It's going to be end of life in October of 2025. So we've got a year to plan because there are upgrades that are going to be needed. Some machines can't be upgraded and going to need to be replaced. That's an expense, and we want you to be prepared for it. We're actually going to have a panel come up, and we're going to have a discussion about planning and budgeting, and I think you're going to enjoy it. We've noticed over the years, because we work with hundreds of companies, that some companies excel at planning and budgeting. Some excel at being blindsided. So we want you to be in the former group, and I think you're going to enjoy that. But throughout the day, as I said, we do want you to be inspired. Think real hard about using AI, make some notes in your books, circle the items that you think you're really interested in and you want to give a try. Use the technology that you already have. Again, we're going to hit some of the Office 365 tools. Empower that hero within. When we do that cybersecurity talk, remember that cybersecurity is not just a switch that you flip on. It's not a piece of software you buy. It's a whole mentality. It's a strategy. And just think about what you're doing. Are you doing enough? Do you have holes in your plan? And we can help you with that if you need it. And of course, we're going to talk about future-proofing your business as well. While you are here, you're sitting here amongst your peers. Most of you are business owners, office managers. You have like needs, you have like desires. Talk and network amongst yourselves. Hopefully you'll meet some new friends and maybe some new business associates. And last of all, please meet the ComTech staff. We're all wearing the blue shirts, so we're easy to find. Locate them, look at the name tags. I know it's awkward leaning over looking, seeing who's who, but please do. We're expecting that because most of the support we do now is remote, and all you ever hear is a voice. All we ever hear is a voice. So it's great to be able to put a face with that name. And with that, I thank you so much, and we look forward to a fantastic day. Thank you for being here.